All right. Good evening, everybody. Tuck Davian here, and I kind of wanted to do a video tonight talking about a few different things that I've been ruminating on over the course of the past few days. This is not a scripted video. This is just me off the cuff, from the hip, as they say. So I started Battlebound kind of as a way to take Battletech to all the different places where people want to play, but for whatever reason they can't. They moved somewhere where there's no local game shop that supports Battletech, or they moved somewhere where there are no players, just no one to play with, and so all they have is Megamech or Tabletop Simulator or something like that. And the fact that there is an entire Facebook group devoted to players who are looking for other players nearby to get a game in face-to-face on the Battletech Players by Zip Code group was enough for me to say that something like this that we're doing would be a good idea. It would be a way to find those people that can't get a game in for whatever reason and go out and play with them. And I thought, well, what else can I do besides that? And I kind of realized at that time that Battletech isn't just great because it's a great rule system or it's a great concept. Battletech is great because of the people who play it. The people who play it are telling stories. They're going out and making memories with one another. And honestly, I really feel like at its core, that's what makes Battletech so great. And I wanted to find a way to showcase that. Just tell the stories of the players who have been doing this for half their lives or just a year, or just got into it, and ask, how did you get involved with this? What's your favorite part of this? Or who do you like the most? Or tell us a really great war story. Tell me a favorite part of Battletech for you. And also, while I was doing this, to showcase any local game shop that would support Battletech. Because you have to understand, I've been doing this for 24 years. Now, I know there are some out there who've got a good 10 years on me, and they will understand this. I remember a time when Battletech was at its zenith. In its heyday, you could drive to any local game shop within driving distance, and they would have an entire section of the store devoted to Battletech, whether that was, a wall, or whether that was a section with shelves and hangers and things like that. And you could find Battletech anywhere that you really feasibly wanted to find it. And then, various IP struggles and the property changing hands and going into the Dark Age. And I'm not here to talk smack about the Dark Age. I'm just saying, with the Clicky Tech version, the game seemed to take somewhat of a downward trend, to the point where I distinctively remember in about 2010 or so not being able to talk about Battletech without hearing the words dead game. And that really irked me, and it's still something that really grinds my gears to this day. And it's, as I've said, this will be dead when I'm dead. Until then, I'm gonna do this until I physically can't do it anymore. And so, that being said, you can't really find Battletech in most brick-and-mortar retail stores anymore. You go somewhere and you'll ask, hey, do you have any Battletech stuff? And they'll say, well, nobody really plays that around here. So that's if they've even heard of it. And you can't really fault that store for not carrying merchandise that very few, if any, people are going to want to come in and buy. And then in some cases you'll say, well, can you order it? And they'll say, nah, it's really not monetarily feasible for us to order one or two things. You'd have to place a large order, and not everybody is looking to do that or can afford to do that. So you end up having this problem where you want to play this game and your store just won't support it for whatever reason. But there are stores out there that do support it, and they welcome anybody who wants to come in and play Battletech. Hey, you want to have a game? Let's get this in, of course, when everything opens back up. And I wanted to showcase those stores, to be like, hey, here is a store right here in this town that sells and supports Battletech. And here's their website, so you can check them out and support local stores that also support this hobby that we all, love and is ostensibly near and dear to our heart. So really, I had this idea about the summer of last year. And I thought right off the bat, this is going to be a good idea. This is kind of like Guy Fieri's drive-ins, diners, and dives, or however you say that, for Battletech. You go to a city, you check out the local, scene, you look at what's there, what's cool about the city, and then you meet a player, and you get to know them and tell their story of how they got involved and whatnot else, and then you meet a local game shop owner, if applicable, and you say, hey, here's a store that supports this, and then you sit down with that person and you play a game. And I wanted to tell the story of what happened in that game like it was a Solaris 7 highlight reel. Just 6 to 8 minutes, hit the high points, and talk about, things that happened that are big and relevant, and focus on that as opposed to diving into the minutia of a turn-by-turn, movement-by-movement, play-by-play analysis of, tactics and dice rolling and all of the things that, as a regular Battletech player, you'll know, make a game of just 4-on-4 take between 2 and 4 hours, depending on how fast you play. And I wanted to condense that into like a holovid reel. Just is the best way I can think of to explain it. And then go, okay, well, now let's go check out some super local place that only exists in that area, and we will sit down with that player, and we'll have a burger, or we'll have a steak, or whatever it is that they offer there, and we will get an interview with them and ask, okay, well, how do you feel like you did, or what was your favorite part of that game, or if you had it to do differently, what would you do the next time, or the next game of Battletech you play, how do you feel about it, that kind of thing, and just, again, talk to that person and get their thoughts on it all. So, really, what I'm trying to say here is that Battlebound is more of a show about people that play Battletech than it is about Battletech itself. That is the core reason why the show is happening, and that's the reason why we're all in the same room together. Yes, and so we're going to touch on that, and we're going to hit the high points of what happened in that game. But there are lots of other channels out there that deal with Battletech lore. I mean, everybody knows Tex Talks Battletech, of course, but not everybody knows, maybe the grimdark narrator, or you've got guys that are out there talking tactics like Wargamer Fritz, or the Mighty Pirates doing lore videos. And I just listened to one a second ago, which I forget the name of already, and I don't have my phone here with me, so I can't but I listened to a 45-minute video while I was painting. So there's lots of people that discuss tactics or discuss lore, and Death from Above Wargaming, for example, does superb long play videos. If you're looking for a 2.5 hour, in-depth, just tooth and nail analysis of everything, and they've got some just bitchin' graphics too. Like I watched a few of their videos, and man, the graphics and the little in-universe type things, it's great. But long play videos are what they do, and they discuss strategy, and they discuss tactics, and they talk about, well, I don't want to make this move because that would leave me open here, there, or the other, and they analyze all that as the game is being played. So if you're looking for that, there's more than enough channels to go find that sort of thing. But what I found looking through it was that there's no channels out there really that focus on your average player, that say, well, here is, Johnny Blaze over here, and he plays Battletech, and he's been playing Battletech for 10 years, and da-da-da-da-da, and focus, put the spotlight on them, and make the player the star of the show, because we all are here because we love giant stompy robots. I mean, that goes without saying, but without these players, the game would not have gotten its initial traction, would not have been able to keep a foothold anywhere, or even during what I call peaks and valleys, when you're in a valley, maintain that level of players, even though the game isn't being sold everywhere, the way that it did in the mid-90s when I first started coming around. I started coming around playing Battletech in 1996 after I got hooked on it from the MechWarrior 2 computer game. And now there are people who are coming into Battletech because there's these great new games that we have. MechWarrior 5, we have the Harebrained Schemes turn-based Battletech, and the Catalyst Game Starters, Catalyst Game Labs Kickstarter is, just blowing everybody away with how much money they raised, and even despite delays, they're still giving us good content, and they're still providing us with information and doing things that, frankly, in 24 years, I've never seen done with Battletech. And I've often said that, sure, you could have come in during the heyday of Battletech, and that would have been great, and to me, the heyday, if you ask me, is probably 1989 or 90 up until about 1998, 99. That was like, just the rocket, to the moon point, and then it took a downward turn, had a valley, and now we're coming back, and Battletech is going to come back bigger, it's going to come back better. It's coming back in a big way, and I've been saying this for years. I mean, we've got new fiction, we've got new stuff coming out, and the Catalyst Game Labs Kickstarter just proves that there is still a great interest in this game. But why is there still a great interest in this game? Because of those players who just straight up refused to let go and said, well, maybe nobody in my area plays, but I still love this. I still have a passion for this. And passion, I've often said, it's something you can't grow in a laboratory. It's something you can't teach in a classroom. You either have it or you don't. And so many of these players have that passion that they could go another 10 years without ever playing a face-to-face game of Battletech, and they would still, at the end of the day, say, I love this setting, I love this lore, I love these mechanics, I love giant stompy robots, and I want to meet those people. I want you to meet those people. And I've said multiple times, I don't just want to tell war stories. I want to tell your stories. And I've received, a couple of comments in various places to the effect of, there was no discussion of tactics involved, or there was, no feel of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, or there was no discussion of strategy, or I didn't really get a good sense of the players involved and what they were using. And I can take some of that and I can incorporate it into the next episode. And believe me, we got a lot of really good suggestions, and I'm going to be able to incorporate, a really large chunk of that. I'm not going to be able to incorporate everything. I'll just tell you that right now. But I was telling Taylor this the other day that I couldn't incorporate every suggestion that I got and still have it be the same show. And Battlebound, at its core, is about people. And that's what I want to do. So I just want to take this time and say thank you. If you've decided that this is a ride that you want to be on. I've gotten lots of emails from guys that want me to come out to their area, and me and Taylor sit around the table and we go, that's wild, that's insane to me. Like, of course it's what I wanted, and I'm over the moon, but to see it succeeding at least that small level, to me, is just, wow, okay, maybe I've got something here. And then I see, other things happening, and I go, I want to be a part of that, like the Kickstarter. I want to take that stuff out and use it, and I really just want to meet you. That's what it boils down to. I mean, as cheesy as that sounds. I mean, gosh, we're going on 17 minutes here that I've just been rambling about this. So if you're sitting here listening to me right now, boy, I want to meet you. You are the type of person that could be on Battlebound. And I may extend the battle reports just a little bit. I try as best as I can to make that interesting. And we're going out to Denison, Texas, next month. On the, I want to say we're probably going to drive up on the 12th, and then we'll play on the 13th and drive home. And that's going to be a tag team game. It's going to be me and Taylor versus a local game shop owner and a good buddy of his. And also, that good buddy happens to run the Battletech Players by Zip Code Facebook group, Gene Phillips. So, go check that group out. And that's what we're going to be doing. So I don't want to drag on too much more here, so I'm not going to say too much else. But I made this show because I love Battletech, and I want to meet more people who love Battletech. I want to get more attention on Battletech by highlighting the local game shops and having a YouTube channel where I'm out there playing the game and showing that it can be exciting and interesting and compete, and that's really what I'm here to do. So if you're in, shoot me an email. I'll put the email up here on the screen for you. Just message me. Let's talk. I mean, I don't care if you live in Florida. I don't care if you live in Washington. Doesn't matter to me. Just let's talk about it and see if we can't make something happen. And I hope that I will be able to meet my goal, which my goal here is to do 12 of these. 12 episodes of Battlebound, and I'll call that a season. And my first real goal with that is to hit 1,000 subscribers. And that's not just because I'm playing a numbers game or anything like that. It's because 1,000 is the threshold at which YouTube will allow me to announce updates on the YouTube channel as opposed to having them posted on Facebook and just hoping that people see it. So I'm kind of trying to fight the algorithm everywhere I can. And even Tex has said in the past that YouTube just does not like small channels. And I went through this when I was uploading the original episode about codecs and things like that, finding out that small channels with not a lot of views, their videos end up getting uploaded and looking like crap. So I had to do some research and find a way to trick the whole thing into letting me upload videos and have them not look like I shot it with a potato. So here we are, 20 minutes, and I think I'm done. So thank you all for listening, and I really hope that we can see you out on the space lanes. Thanks.